Hello, and the video today is about children in conflict and war, and how children are innocents and how they should be treated as innocents. And there are so many people involved in these wars with Israel and Palestine that are innocent beings that are not taking any particular side, but especially the children, because they don't know really what they're getting themselves involved with. And even if they say something like they're on a particular side, they still don't know the full extent of the consequences or what's really going on. In fact, some adults are even like that, but children definitely don't really know as much as they could do. I know because I come from a teaching background. I've talked about this in my recent podcast broadcast, how children should really be protected in war zones. And it's really terrible to understand that around 50,000 children have been either injured or killed in Gaza Strip during the conflict between Israel and Palestine, or Israel and Hamas. That's what they say that it is, but these children are not Hamas. So it must stop, and leaders must act soon. I was just talking on the podcast about how, even in younger years, I mean, we've all done things which are kind of wild and all the rest of it. But we can't blame our younger selves for what we've done. I know that in my younger years, I had 4 of my half-sisters' boys. I don't know if it was all 4 of them singing, but I think it was, singing the Billy Boys song to me or around me or whatever. And, you just have to question them really to figure out, did they actually really understand what the Billy Boys song was about? If they did know what it was about, why were they singing it to me or around me? Were they singing it to or around me because they thought I was on their side? Were they singing it to me or around me because they thought that it would scare me into submission, or that I'd have to behave a certain way, etc.? What was the actual intent? So it's all about understanding, awareness and intent. And I believe truly that back in those days, they really probably had little knowledge about what they were really singing about. They probably heard some adults singing it. I was going as far as to say maybe their parents, maybe not, maybe just even other adults singing it around them, and without really any proper understanding, just felt that it was a catchy song and started to sing it around me. So that is just one thing. You cannot blame children or people in their younger years for what they have done and say that somehow they were in the wrong and that they've brought all this on them. And that's one thing I disagreed with regards to Charlie Kirk. I did hear him talk to someone dressed up as Jesus Christ, and the guy dressed up as Jesus Christ wasn't really aware of Jesus or the Bible as much as he should have been to come to such an argument. But he did make some very good points about what seemed like genocide in Palestine and how that was happening. But he should have also understood that it was wrong on both sides for anyone to be doing that towards children or any innocents in general. But Charlie Kirk did say, and this is one thing I disagreed with, was that they brought it on themselves. How can children in Palestine bring that on themselves? How can they possibly be seen as somehow guilty of something and should be killed? It is absolutely disgusting and ridiculous to suggest such a thing. As I say, I know obviously coming from this with an educational background that children don't form properly for years. Later, they're still in their formative years, in their primary education years. They're still forming their understanding. They're still learning about different things. But the truth is that even a lot of adolescents and beyond are still learning. It's called lifelong learning. But particularly children in these arenas are definitely, as I say, innocent and should be protected at all times with regards to this. Something needs to be in place. The leaders of these different countries need to be chosen for their maturity, for their ability to protect children and innocent people, not the lack thereof. And the opposite of this, they must be mature people to be leaders of countries. We can't have people of the opposite ranking being leaders of countries. This is just not right, and of course it leads to all this chaos. So it must stop, it must end now, and we just pray for peace and pray for leaders to make the right decisions to protect children and all innocent people. Amen. Thanks for listening. If you want to go and listen to more, you can go and listen to the podcast broadcast, and it's down below this video, I believe, at the moment, while the video is still out, that is. Okay, thank you and have a good day.